Hi, welcome to another journey through timeless wisdom of Rumi. In this session, I interpret verse 26, where Rumi says, "Love gave life to Mount Sinai." And Mount Sinai started moving, which made Moses go unconscious due to its magnifying impact. Or in Persian, he says, عشق جان تور آمد عاشقا تور مست و خر موسی صاعقا. This story refers to when Moses with his people was walking through Mount Sinai. He first observed a bush being in fire but not being observed by fire. So he noticed that something is happening here that is out of ordinary. Then upon receiving the 10 Commandments, he felt unconscious as he felt something like being struck by lightning. And that was the power of divine, where he felt unconscious, and then he also received the 10 Commandments from the divine. So Moses is saying that the power of love can have this huge impact on something like Mount Sinai, making it move, and also affect Moses or us in a way that it makes us unconscious and be aware of the mysteries of life. So let's unpack this a little bit. Striking something or the love being able to do transformation to things that are extremely stable shows us a hope that that can actually impact the things in our life as well, the things that we think that are very challenging, very hard, or we find it very difficult. The solution to that, Rumi says, is the love and the presence, being with the divine and being in touch with your essence. These are the things that can eventually help you to go through the path of your enlightenment. Moses, upon the contact with the divine and with the love, felt unconscious. That can be similar to the time when we do meditation and we fill our heart with the love, is when we can feel somehow unconscious of our mundane, negative self-talk, which can be our ego. So the power of the love and the divine and being in the present moment can act like the lightning, where it destroys and cuts through all these negative self-talks and egoic talk that we have. And then what happened to Moses at that time was to receive the 10 Commandments. This means that if we fill our heart with the love of divine, we will gain the capacity to know the mysteries that we wouldn't be able to know if we are not in contact with those kind of powers. How can we really get an example of this transformative power? Look at your life and see, have you been in a situation where you had a huge challenge in your life in the past that you can think about it and say, oh my God, at that time, what I experienced was extremely painful. But that pain and that challenge made you grow to become a better person. How do you feel about that? So you can see that, okay, well, that happened at that time. Now I have a wisdom that challenge actually transformed me to something better. Sometimes we receive love through challenges. And I know at that time, your challenge may have been really, really difficult. But what would have happened when you receive the challenge, instead of being extremely frustrated, you appreciate it at that time, that this challenge could transform you to someone better. This is what the love and being in touch with the essence can do. When we receive the challenges, we can appreciate it for what it is, and like the love of divine, let it transform us to become a better person. So if you wanted to get a lesson from this verse by Rumi, think about the fact that the love of the divine, your meditation, and being in touch with your essence can be something that can transform you to become a better person. It can also help you to overcome obstacles and see obstacles as something that can transform you to become a better person. Also think about the example of what happened to the Moses, where the love of divine was able to transform his stick to a snake. That's the same thing that we can do if we open our heart to the love, we accept it in ourselves, and let it transform us from an egoic, stressed person to somebody who is more spiritual and more enlightened, and can feel the joy of being in a present moment. Thanks very much for watching this video. Please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel, and I look forward to speaking to you soon. Thank you.